Hello everyone, I'm Liu, one of the software engineers at InsForge team. Today I'm going to introduce a new feature that we recently shipped out, database migrations. For those who are not familiar with migrations, you can think of it as a way of bookkeeping your schema changes. It tracks how your database evolves during your development cycles, and is very useful for auditing, code reviewing, and team collaborations. As of version 2.0.7, this becomes the default and the recommended way of managing your InsForge database. We build a whole context layer around this concept, so your coding agent should handle this automatically with our InsForge Skills and CLI tools installed. Let me show you a quick example of how to use database migrations. Here is a brand new project that I just created called Catobia. Let me first link it. I'll first copy paste the CLI commands into my VS Code, and it's trying to install skills. Okay, next I will ask Claude Code to build me an app called Catobia. Users should be able to upload the cat pictures and share with the others. It's going to run for a while, so let's just wait. So you can see here, Claude Code is trying to use our CLI tools to create a new migration file called create posts. And you can see in the local directory, there is a migrations folder with the migration file that just created by Claude Code. What it does is it's trying to create a table called post, creating some index, enable the row level security, and create some policies around this table, and a trigger at last. So if we go to our project, so that's the first migration file the Claude Code created. It's been applied to the database already. You can use the button here to inspect the contents of this migration file, and you can see that the post table is being created here with all the columns that we need. User ID, image URL, image key, caption. Okay, now Claude Code seems to finish its work. Let's run the app in local and check the app. Okay, cool. Now I need to sign up to post my cats. Okay, let me start sharing a cat first. Okay, here is my cat. Hello world. Post to Catobia. Cool, now my cat is online. We can check that, yes, there is a new row in the post table. My cat picture should be in my storage bucket. That's good. Okay, so now say we want a new feature called likes. So you can see that the Claude Code is trying to use the CLI tool to create a new migration file called create likes, and it's in your local directory as well. Okay, after the migration file is being applied to the database, you can see that there is a new table called the likes, and there is a new migration file in the migrations tab as well. Let's check our app. Cool, there is like button here. I can create a like. Oops, I need to sign in to like other people's cats. So I click here. Okay, there is one like to my cat. Let me check the table. Yes, there is a new record here in the likes table. So everything seems working. So now let's say that I don't really like the column name caption. I want to rename it to description. I can just tell Claude Code to change it. Caption to description. Okay, so you can see that the Claude Code is creating another migration file called the rename caption to description, and there is a third migration file in the local directory. What it does is just pretty simple. It's just rename the column names. And once this migration file is being applied, you can see that the caption column is gone and there is a description column instead. As you can see from the dashboard, the new migration files are all here and you can always monitor them at any time. So that's pretty much it about how to use the database migrations feature. And here are some important guidelines that you should try to follow while using it. First, you should never modify your local migration files once they have been applied. Doing so will not affect the remote database because each migration file can only be applied once. The InsForge CLI will skip the ones that have been already applied, and the InsForge backend would reject any duplicate migration files. If you made a mistake or change your mind, just write a new migration file and it's totally fine. Second, once you start using database migrations, you should not modify database schemas through dashboard or raw SQLs. Doing so will cause a drift between the remote database state and the migration records. It's not the end of the world if a drift occurs, but as the drifts accumulate, the migration records become more and more untrustworthy, and the manual sync would be required to fix the drift. Okay, so I think that actually concludes today's video. If you have any questions, kindly join our Discord and post them. I will be very happy to answer each of them. So see you in the next video. Happy coding!